Okay, and we are recording. Welcome, Lifestyle Warriors, to our team call tonight. First of all, thank you so much for being so accepting of the new time change. We typically do our calls on a Monday night, but my daughter Bella does modeling, and her classes were normally on a Tuesday night, but they've been changed to Monday night, so I needed to change it. And I really think it's important to do our team call at the beginning of the week, because I don't know about you, but I love our team call, and it inspires me for the rest of the week. So I wanted to do it early on, and the beauty of it is I do record them all. So if we can't be on one for whatever reason, we can always access the recording later. Now, I have created a document in Lifestyle Warriors that I'm going to start putting all of the recordings of the team call on, so they're not in separate components, once we've finished with this GoPro series. So at the moment, all the GoPro series calls are in a playlist. In the business training section, it's Unit 3 of Lifestyle Warriors Business Training. The GoPro series link is there to access all of the videos on all of the chapters and skills we've covered in GoPro. But then once we finish the skills, because there's only 2 more to go, it will be in that document in Lifestyle Warriors, just a YouTube link, so that someone that can join your team in 4 years from now could go back to today's call and watch it and learn something from it. So just think, your future diamonds could be watching you right now, but in like several years' time. Crazy to think about that, right? Anyway, today we are going through skill number 6, which is chapter 9 on GoPro, and it is helping your new distributors get started right. This is something I'm so passionate about, because I think, number one, it's scary starting a new business, and if we're pointing our people in the right direction, they're going to be able to get off to a really, really good start without the overwhelm of them thinking they have to try and figure it all out, that they're there by themselves, they've got no one else there to help them. If we have our process so simple and dialed in, then we're setting them up for success straight away. Now, I'm currently in the process of creating a PDF for getting started right, so that we can email that to our new distributor. I'm going to record a video of me walking through it, so brand new people can access that straight away. It's got a checklist on there, what to focus on first. I was hoping to have it ready for tonight so I could share it with you all, but it's like not even 50% done yet. So as soon as I have that done, I will let you all know. And I know I'm talking super fast, but I've got 10 minutes to make up for, as I was stuffing everyone around with my lack of technology. So I don't want to keep you longer than I need to. So I'm going to go through all of my highlighted parts. So for those of you that know me well, know I love highlighting books. I grab my books and I highlight them in pink, of course, with the things that really, really stand out for me and the things that I think are most important. So I'm going to share what I took away from this chapter and what I think is most important for this skill. And then I'm going to go around. While our Zoom calls are still quite small, I think they can be very interactive. So I'll go around and you can share with the group what you got most out of it, or maybe what you learnt most, or what you want to do with the next new team member that you get started. You can be creative. So first of all, it says in here that professionals set proper expectations. And I always make sure that I say to people that are looking at joining, or to a brand new person, yes, this business is simple, but it is not easy. And one of the things that you're going to have to do most is to work on yourself and do personal development, so that when things get hard, when you've had your 10th no in a row, when no one has liked your before and after post, you know that patience and consistency is the key, and you're setting them the proper expectations. If we told everyone, oh, you just put a post up on Facebook and then your inbox is filled with 20 messages and people just find you, Google your name and go and order on your website and you don't have to do anything, then what is that encouraging? That's encouraging them doing nothing, which means that when they join you, they're going to do nothing. Then they're going to quit because they had zero result, and you're going to be left at ground zero again, right? So professionals set proper expectations and they help their new distributors get quick results. So one of the things that's in the new Getting Started training that I'm putting together is what their first goal is. And their first goal is the 3 and Free program. And you might not have heard of that before because it's only brand new. It was launched on July 20th. And it's where for someone's first 3 full periods, they share a solution bundle with 3 people in a period and they will get their next order for free, right? So that's their first goal, to get 3 and Free qualified so they're getting their products paid for, which will then have them automatically hit their second goal, which is advancing to the rank of builder, which is our very first rank. It's simply you plus 2, 1 person on your left team, 1 person on your right team. So if we simplify it like that, instead of saying, okay, well, go watch this training, go do all of this, think about your branding, think about your marketing strategy, think about, you know, all of this stuff, it's so overwhelming. And has anyone ever had so much information, it paralyzes them? I know I have, because then you don't know where to start, right? So we want to keep it really, really simple and set expectations. So even though our team is awesome, right? If I do say so myself. We have our Lifestyle Warriors team page. There's so much content in there. When you have your new team member join you, they don't just get you, but they get the whole team, which is fantastic. But we want to make sure that they are plugging into you as their leader. As soon as you have 1 person join you, you are a leader in this business. You are their sponsor and their upline leader. And so you want to make sure you have one-on-one time with them as well. Don't just plug them into the team page and tag them and let them go off on their merry way, right? We want to have that one-on-one time as well. And some of the language Eric uses in this book I love. He says, congratulations on making the decision. I'm proud of you for taking charge of your life. From now on, things are going to be different for you and your family. But this is the part I love the most. He says, if you succeed in this business, it's going to be you who creates the success, not me. And if you fail in this business, it's you that has failed, not me, right? You are the difference between success and failure. I see so many times in this business, and I have certainly been guilty of it before, especially in my first year. I still consider myself a network marketing apprentice, but specifically in my first year, whenever one of my people would succeed, I would be like, oh man, I'm awesome, right? I helped that person and look at them go there. I'm awesome. But then if they did something wrong, I'd blame them for it, right? But if I'm going to take the accolade for their success, I better be prepared to take the accolade or the opposite of that for their failure, right? And I think if you haven't watched the Tony Robbins show on Netflix, I'm Not Your Guru, he talks about this exact thing in one of the interviews that he's doing with somebody. This girl was blaming her dad for a lot of stuff. And Tony Robbins basically says to her, like, if you're going to blame him for all the bad, you're going to have to blame him for all the good as well. So setting up those right expectations with our distributors as well is really important. And then another part of that, part 3, is making sure they're set up with the appropriate products. I absolutely love that we have our solution bundles now. Number 1, the name sounds awesome. I love saying to people, oh, let's get the right solution bundle for you. But it's having them set up with what their need is, because becoming a product of the product is really the most important thing that they're going to be needing to do, along with personal development. So getting them set up with the right products, making sure they're set up with the appropriate tools. So again, in this Getting Started Right training that I'm putting together right now, and I apologize, it's not ready for this call. I was working really hard on it. It goes through how to set up your direct deposit. So someone can go in, set up their Paylution account so that when their first commission check comes through, that's all set up, ready to go. And I've had this happen before. I've had someone call me and say, you know, I've been with Zesha for 4 months now and I haven't been paid yet. And I'm like, what do you mean you haven't been paid yet? Have you set up your Paylution account? No. Okay. Setting up our Paylution account is so important because we can set up unconsciously limiting beliefs. And if we don't know that the banking is set up for money to go into our bank account, we can allow that, again, unconsciously and subconsciously, to stop us from even trying, because we're like, oh, we can't get paid anyway. I haven't even set up my direct deposit. So, you know, your own mind stops you from doing the action. So making sure they're set up with the appropriate tools, that they've got their login, their username and password for their MBO, their my back office, the Zesha back office, that they know what their distributor ID number is, that they know how to connect with corporate, whether that be email, whether that be the Australia and New Zealand 1-800 phone number, whether that be the chat feature that's in the back office. All of these appropriate tools for them to be able to move forward with their business. And making sure they get connected is the next one. So plugging them into the team page, making sure that they know that they can reach out to you as their sponsor, and make sure they have a basic understanding of the comp plan. Has everyone watched the comp plan video that I made a couple of weeks ago about how to make an income or making an impact? I think it's really simple. I mean, I went through all 5 parts of the comp plan as a PowerPoint, so you get a visual as well. But I think even for a brand new person, I made it very clear that the way they make 100% of their money to start with is through fast start commissions. And I go through having those 3 people get started. Not only are you going to get your product for free, but you're going to be making $112.50. And then if you duplicate that the next month, then you've made this much. So if you haven't watched that yet, go to the Lifestyle Warriors team page, go to the units section, and the unit that is labeled, that is titled Impact Rewards Plan, which is the name of our compensation plan. There's a video in there that is the compensation plan video that I made. So make sure you watch that, and then you'll know that when you have someone ask you about the comp plan and you're like, oh my gosh, I could not explain it if my life depended on it, which is how I was in the beginning, just shoot them the video, right? Just send them the video. It's all there. Very, very step-by-step and very simple to understand. And then make sure they've got a fundamental understanding of how to properly invite their prospects to understand more of what they have to offer. So again, in the Getting Started training thing that I'm putting together, I've got some script options in there, and I do want to create a unit just for scripts. I mean, I've got pages and pages of scripts in my phone, just in my notes app, that I just go into and copy and paste. So I'm actually going to type them all up and pop them in a document in there, so that it's really just getting into the gist of what to say. If you're using someone else's script, you might need to change the language so it sounds like you. As an example, if one of the Zesha members in America was to give me their script, I probably wouldn't send it, because 9 times out of 10 it probably starts with, hey girl, and I don't talk like that. So I wouldn't send a script like that if it wouldn't actually be something that physically came out of my mouth if I was speaking face to face with a person. So use them as inspiration. I mean, YouTube and Google have been my absolute best friends. If I'm like, okay, I've heard of Google Streak, which is a CRM within Gmail. I don't know anything about it. I don't even know how to set it up. I go onto YouTube, how to use Google Streak, and I watch some videos, and it helped me set it up, which again is going to be not a huge part of the Getting Started training, but I think it's really important for each of our team members to have a Gmail account so that they can have a Google Streak account and get into the habit of collecting people's email addresses so that you can have access to their information, even if Facebook and Instagram were to disappear, you've still got all of your contacts and all of your prospects that you've been having conversations with. You've got everything there. So if you haven't got a Gmail account yet, definitely set one up for future training purposes at least. Next thing I have here is part 4 of the game plan interview. Is we want to walk them through how they can get their first customer, and if we provide them with some scripts and ideas on how to do that, they just need to go out and do it. How they can get their first distributor, encourage them to attend their first event. So right now, as Pen posted in our team page earlier, tickets for Summit are on sale. They are only $99 right now. And guys, this is a 4-day event. This is a full 4-day event. I've paid over $1,000 for a 1-day event before. This is a full 4 days for $99 up until the 31st of August. This event is not until July next year. So we have a year to go, well, just under a year. I've nearly finished the process of setting up everyone's accounts with Flight Centre for you to be able to start paying off your flights and accommodation over the next year. So if you're planning on doing that, grab your ticket before August finishes so that it's only $99, because then I think it will go up to $129 and then $159 and then $199 and then $249, and it just keeps going up and up and up and up until I think I've just frozen. All right, I just froze. I'm back now, I think. So we'll just keep going up and up until the event, unless you're a new person. So let's just say Pen enrolls Sharon in May next year. And Sharon loves the idea of Summit, says, yes, I want to go. Sharon can get her ticket for $99. I think within your first month, you can get it for that $99 special. But for us current members, we have until the 31st of August. So make sure you grab your ticket and register for that if you're planning on coming. And if you're not yet in the bulk booking, which means that you haven't yet emailed me all of your details, your name, email, phone number, address, and your closest capital city airport, stating that you want to be in the bulk booking for Summit, then email me like this week so that you can get in on that with all of us, and we'll have fun traveling together. Also, what steps they can take to earn their first commission check. Again, that's in the comp plan video. This is something I love. Always end conversations with people with a call to action. So you've just spent some time with your new person. What are you going to give them the job of doing before you speak to them again? Because a lot of people say that they're going to do something, but they don't end up doing it. As an example, I used to send out this book on Audible to a brand new person and give them the link to the GoPro book and say to them, once you've read the first chapter, let me know, we'll get back on the call again and do this. And it would tell me who was serious and who wasn't, and who was worth me investing my time into and who wasn't. Because if you have big goals here and you want to have new people starting all of the time, can you afford to be babysitting? Can you afford to be chasing around people, like messaging them saying, how can I help you? Like, do you need any help? No, right? You want people that are self-driven, self-motivated go-getters that know that when they need you, they will reach out to you. Of course, we're not going to just sign people up and then ignore them. We want to make sure they're plugged in, do their getting started training with them, make sure they understand what's going on, make sure that you know that they know you're there for support. But you definitely don't want to babysit people. Absolutely. I've done it. Complete waste of time. I guarantee it. So here are some things of what can help a new person get over the line, meaning what can have them buy in that little bit longer, because not everyone that joins you will stay with you. Some people will join and then go into the witness protection program. I've had this, and I'll never forget him. I had a random phone call from a guy and he'd been apparently following me on Facebook for ages, loved the look of Zija, wanted to get started, got started on a diamond pack, which are the big packs that we used to have. So $1,700 for this pack. And he ordered it, it went through, added him to the team page, and then all of a sudden, I never ever heard from him again, nor could I ever contact him again. He didn't return the product or anything like that, but just went into witness protection, right? And it's going to happen. It happens all of the time. But here are some things to avoid that. Helping them get their first customer signed up. Helping them get their first team member signed up. Getting them their first check. Money talks, right? Getting them to attend an event. Making friends inside the organization, which I think is what's so awesome about our sprint teams, right? Because it has that group collectively together working towards something fun, and you buy into the friendship, right? Not only on this Zoom right now do I have actual relatives, like my blood dad is on here. Although she hates this word, my mother-in-law is on here as well. But I have friends that are like sisters to me that I would not leave no matter what, because we're bought into this whole thing together. And so getting people plugged into our community, our team as soon as possible, has them brought in to not, like, Zija's not just about making money. It's not just about having people feel better. It's about enhancing our lives, right? And it's just a whole holistic approach to everything. And recognizing them for some sort of achievement, whether it was them having their first super mix or them signing up their first customer, or I remember when Carolyn did her first video and posted her first video on Facebook, like I made sure, told everyone, go and watch Carolyn's video and like and comment on it, right? Make her feel important, because it's scary doing something new. And as soon as you can make people feel a part of the community, then they are bought in for longer. Now, as a sponsor, your job to help them get over the line, and it is I'm going to start that sentence again. As a sponsor, your job is to help them get over the line and stay over the line. And the line never really goes away. It's always there. And you as a leader need to be constantly aware of where your people are emotionally. This way you can continue to encourage them to never let go of their dreams. And that's one of the things that's so important about people stating and letting you as their sponsor know what their why is, why they're doing this business, so that when you know they're having a hard time, you can remind them of that and say, look, I am here for you. We are in this together. And I know how important X, Y, Z is for you. What you're going through right now, it will pass. And with consistency and discipline and patience, I promise you, you'll get the result as long as you don't quit and you keep on going. And because you've spoken their language and told them what they actually said to you, it shows that you care as well. So I'm going to read some of these comments. I see some comments here. Jude, you're not well. That's no good. Sorry. What book are we reviewing? Anna Maria, it's GoPro. So 7 skills to becoming a network marketing professional. Every week we go through one skill. So this skill this week was skill number 6. So we only have one more week to go. And next week is on promoting events, which is actually really good because Summit just went on sale. So I love that. Juju got your Summit ticket today and you love the comp plan video. Kerry, no, not Kerry. It says Kez, so I just said Kerry. Carol and Kev are going to get theirs tonight. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go around and call each person out to ask what your takeaways from this chapter were, or just something that you want to share. Sharon, you're up.
I always seem to be up first. Is that my copy of GoPro? Because I think you highlighted everything that I said.
Really?
Yeah,
did I do the wrong one?
No, you've done everything that I wrote down.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my gosh, did I just repeat last week's call?
No, did I leave my copy with you? But anyway, let's go on. So from this, what I got from it is when you've got somebody new, yeah, bring them into our culture. I like that, but I'm here to work with you, not for you.
Yeah.
I did a while back have a couple of girlfriends that said I'm not making any money because I'm not working hard enough for them. So yeah, and that wasn't very nice. And I just said, well, it's I've got my business, you've got your business. So, but my job is to make them independent from me as soon as possible. So yeah, so I think that's the only thing different I wrote to you all that you didn't mention. And I like the knowing where your people are emotionally. So that, and letting them know it is hard. You're going to have good and bad days, and some of those bad days come all in a row. But do you want me to leave you alone or remind you of why you got started? So yeah, I like that too. That's
Very
what I got.
powerful.
Yeah.
Love it. Thanks, Sharon. Yeah. Pen.
Hello.
Hi.
I've got a page full of notes. A few things that stood out for me were to identify with them their best way to attract prospects. So some people are going to be social media, some people are going to be face-to-face.
Yep.
So I think rather than try and convert someone to social media and give them all that information, find what's natural for them and then support that. Obviously train on the other side, but I think there's a lot to take in when you first start, so don't try and do everything at once. Something that you did with me when I first started was followed my results, and you contacted me when I was like a few points off rank advancing, and you said if you can get this, I think it was like the second week or something for builder, or then you'll hit your first rank advance. So that was quite exciting, that engagement from you as well. I think it's really good to do the training on going for no, because the biggest thing you're going to come into is that rejection side of things. So I think you need to kind of build that rhinoceros skin from the start. You're setting them up for success, but success needs to be what it is for them, within their, our tools within their framework. I love what you said to Carolyn about being the CEO of your own company. It's really good to remind them of that, and that means they won't rely on the upline to do all the work. Don't be a slave to your new team members. And also maybe some hot tips, like if they buy the premium package, they will get, won't have to pay for shipping, they won't have to do, the excess bundles, and also their rewards. So they're instantly starting to get that 25% to get their reward points. And so they're the little incentives on top of everything else. So that's it for me.
I love it. Who's ever gotten a message from me saying you're so many points away from ranking? Or you only need one more person to rank advance? I think I've sent everyone on this call a message saying, you're here, you're here. Well, I did, Carol. I was at Summit one year and you and Kev were about to rank advance while I was at Summit. And you rank advanced, and then Bronwyn and George rank advanced the same week while I was at the gala night at Summit. Do you remember? I'm always in my back office checking numbers. Awesome. All right, Carolyn, you are next.
Hello.
Hi.
So just a couple of things. With the whole getting started thing, I think that the last thing that people want to feel is that they're floundering on their own and that they don't have the support. So I think tying in with that is also setting those expectations for them. So we're not wanting them to feel like we're going to do it all for them, but we also don't want them to feel like we're just going to sign them up, forget about them, and leave them to flounder, because that's just the worst. So yeah, getting that balance right, I think, is really good, and plugging them into the community. That just helps them to feel like they've got a support group of people around them. So that's one thing. What else? I think that, Belinda, what you said, it's simple, but it's not easy. And so that also kind of speaks to the whole expectations thing as well. You know, we don't want to set them up to think that they just don't need to do anything and it's all just going to happen magically for them. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Let me just quickly find it. Oh, yes. It was about validation. So I think, you know, sometimes when you get all very excited about something new that you're doing, and then after a couple of days you start to feel a bit wobbly and you think, oh, heck, what have I done? And so I think the whole validation is like, this is a great decision that you've made, and sort of creating that feeling of no doubt. You know, we've done this thing, we don't need to have any doubts about it, and you know, it's kind of just clears off those wobbly feelings and helps you to kind of feel a little bit more solid in the decision that you've made.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Totally agree.
yeah.
Thanks, Carolyn. Dad, anything you'd like to share?
It helps to quickly unmute to get unmuted, of course. It sort of goes hand in hand. Look, I've been, have to apologise. I read this book quite a while ago and haven't recently read it. So I can't add any sort of refreshing new information. But from what I can recall and what I've heard tonight, I think when you're speaking to a new prospect and they are, well, sorry, someone who has joined the business, which is what we're on tonight, is to tell them about, you know, go for no, right? Don't limit what you think they're going to buy on what you would buy if you were in their situation, right? Go for no, which you'll, you know, they'll soon let you know when they're at the level that they're comfortable with in purchasing. So yeah, you can extract the higher order from them giving the limit, not yourself. Yeah. And you know, letting your people know that and show them how to do it. I've also I've been in teams pretty much all my life, in marketing teams and so forth. And when you're out there on your own, it's so very, very easy to feel isolated and that no one cares and that you're on your own and you're the one that's got to make it all happen. So it's very important to make sure that everyone in your team has a contact with you on a regular basis, and to get them to link into these calls, to organise social events, just so that there is this team dynamic happening. That's where, as you said, Belinda, the friends are made. Like you met the lovely Pen at an airport. I met Sharon first at a I think it was a Christmas do that we were having, and I think Kevin Carroll was also at a Christmas event, and so that's all very important to build up not just your own feeling of belonging to the group, but the people in your downline as well, because they will know and feel that they are not alone, that they have people that they can call, and that you know, they aren't just faces on a screen when they meet them in person. Keep the group contact, as I said, and as you've already said, Belinda, and many have said, do not quit. You know, enforce with them. Do not quit. Don't compare other success with what you have. They and you will advance at your own pace. Just because someone's rank advancing quicker than you, or they seem to be getting more positive contacts than you, means nothing. As long as you are daily doing what you know that you need to do and are comfortable with doing, although we need to get out of our comfort zone, as we all know, then the worst thing you can do is compare, because that's the quickest way to lose your enthusiasm and to actually quit. As you know, it's easy to quit, it's harder to keep going, and you have to make your people believe that, and that people around them in the group care for their success, because our success is directly attributed to their success. And once they know that, then they feel more comfortable calling you either upline, downline, or crossline. So let them know that, you know, we have the tools, although we aren't tools, of course. Sorry, it's Sunday night. Give me a break. Yeah. So there's that, and yeah, just don't compare yourself to others. I think that's all I can share with you, lovely young ladies, this evening. So I'll pass back to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Dad. And comparison really is the thief of joy. I know that if I have low energy, it's because I'm comparing myself to someone. I can see it instantly. And something that I have to remember as well, and what I share when it comes up, when this topic comes up, is don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 20. Right? Or don't compare your chapter 4 to someone's chapter 10 even, or even chapter 5, because you never know what they have been through already to get to where they are. As an example, when I first started here, I ranked pretty high in my first day, but that was based on the 5 years of work I had done before even hearing about Zija. So it's all like you, as you said, Dad, you're on your own journey. Don't compare to anyone. If you're finding you're looking at what someone else is doing and it's not inspiring you, it's demotivating you because you're like, oh, I wish that was me, then stop watching. Stop looking at what they're doing and just focus on you and your goals and what you can do to get yourself there. So I love that you brought that up. Thank you. Carol, anything you would like to add? Oh, we're muted, Carol. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I was clicking up on the screen. Everyone said mostly everything that I've thought of, but the thing that really stood out for me is to help your prospects, whereas I've always felt that if I help them, they may feel that I'm pushy and you know, want to succeed myself instead of them. And the most important thing is actually them and what they want, and listen to their emotions and play around with that emotional for the prospect.
Yeah. So, but like buy into what they need.
That's right.
Needs.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not what I want; it's what they want emotionally.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Carol, for adding that. Now, Kay, Lisa, and Jude, all of you have your screens off, so I'm not sure if you can unmute and share. So oh, there we go.
Hey, I'm here. Great content, everyone. I'll just share very quickly because I'm conscious of the time. I think the biggest thing that I can contribute to this, and what I've actually learned, is I'm a process-driven person. So I'm really good at going in and sitting with a new team member and having a tick list and going through and having them supposedly commit. Okay, so you understand that to be successful, you've got to go and do A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, no problem at all. It's not something I've mastered yet, and I go away and then they do nothing. I think the best thing is what you said, Belinda. It's kind of like that dance, like you take one step and then let them take one step. And because I'm a bit of an all or nothing person, it's like learning to, we're dealing with human beings, aren't we? So yeah, but I really enjoyed that chapter. So yeah, that's my biggest contribution.
Thank you, Lisa. And it is that dance, having that sort of, lack of a better word, call to action at the end of every interaction, so that you know then if it's worth investing your time into. I remember when I was looking at Zija, so like the 2 weeks of like research that I did, and the endless phone calls that, you know, Lisa and I were on the phone with each other, and I was on the phone with Dad, and just going back and forth asking like probably the most silliest questions ever. The person who I was speaking to on the phone, who's actually not a part of Zesha anymore, he wouldn't share his whole story until the next call. So like he shared a part of his story, and then I had to go away and do something, and then he didn't say, well, I'm not sharing my story until you do this. It was natural. It was like, you know, and he sort of shared a little bit, and it's like, oh, but you know, the rest of the story is for another day. Next time we jump back on the phone, I'll share with you how it ended. You go do this. So even before I started, he was setting that expectation of, okay, well, I need to do this and then I can come back. It's not just give all the time. It's a give and take. So that dance is really, really, really important. So, Jude, I know you're not feeling well at the moment, so if you want to type anything, I can read it out. And I know, Kay, you're super busy with your horses. So if you want to share anything, just unmute at any time or type it in to the comments if you want to say anything. And then next week, I'll keep an eye on those comments. Next week, Jude, you want to share? I saw your video come on.
New computer, I can't get it sorted, and I'm lying in bed here. I think the two basic things I picked up was setting up the very basics, like the Paylution, getting people into the team, just getting to know people that way. But the other thing I really liked was the game plan interviews. Just one step at a time, just slowly, like you've talked about, really.
Yeah, exactly. Because although they're joining an awesome team, awesome company, like they're joining you as their leader, and you want to be invested into that partnership. And most importantly, have the confidence, even if it's your first team member, to still do it. I know it can be hard, like stepping up as a leader when it's your first team member and you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, I could get, you know, someone else in my upline to do this game plan call with them, or this getting started right call or whatever, but you have it in you. You started, you're using the product, you're doing personal development, you're sharing your journey, you've attracted someone, they're trusting in you, they know, like, and trust you. You've earned that right to lead them. You've just got to step up and do it. So definitely. Absolutely, Jude, 100% agree. So next week we are talking about promoting events, which is our very last skill. If any of you would like to volunteer to host it, just message me. We can book someone in to host. I love giving people the opportunity to host. If any of our leaders on the call would like to host it as well, let me know. And we will be back here next week for skill number 7, promoting events. So between now and then, I challenge you, if you're coming to Summit next year, grab your Summit ticket while it is only $99. For me personally, even if I was umming and ahhing about Summit next year, which totally not, like I was booked to go to that baby a year ago, buy your ticket anyway. It's only $99 US, and you can on-sell it to someone later if you don't end up going or something happens and you don't end up going. So grab it while it's a good price, and we'll be talking all about promoting events and why they're so important next week. So have an incredible week, guys. I'll see you in the team page, and good night.
Not all.